I want to share something personal today, something that might help you avoid learning these lessons the hard way, like I did. We all have moments in life when we look back and think, if only I had known this sooner. But Stoic philosophy, which I've grown to understand and apply over the years, can help us get ahead of those regrets. Let me take you on a journey through some of the big lessons I learned later than I would have liked. When I was younger, I used to stress about everything. I wanted to control every outcome, whether it was about my job, relationships, or even just small things like plans with friends. If something didn't go as expected, it would ruin my entire day, sometimes even my week. I'll never forget one time I was working hard to land this big deal. I put in all the effort and I just knew it would go through. I became so attached to the result that when it didn't happen, I felt like a failure. It wasn't until I came across Stoic philosophy that I realized the problem wasn't the situation, but my response to it. The Stoics teach us that we can't control everything that happens to us. What we can control is how we react. This simple idea freed me. Suddenly, when things didn't go as planned, I wasn't losing my mind anymore. I started to focus on what was within my control, my attitude, my actions, and my effort. And that, I can tell you, changed my life. When I was younger, I would spend so much time worrying about what other people thought of me. I'd waste hours on trivial things like what clothes to wear to impress others, or what people said behind my back. But here's the truth. Most of the things we stress about aren't important. I remember going to a reunion a few years ago, and I was so anxious about what everyone would think of me, how successful I was, or how I looked. I spent days preparing for this event, mentally and emotionally. But when it was over, I realized no one really cared that much. We're all too busy with our own lives to care about someone else's minor flaws. One of the biggest lessons from Stoic philosophy is learning to differentiate between what matters and what doesn't. Time is our most valuable resource, and once it's gone, we can't get it back. So why spend it on things that don't matter? The Stoics remind us to focus on what's meaningful, our relationships, our purpose, and our own growth, and let go of the superficial. This one took me a long time to understand. We all go through tough times, and I've had my fair share of them. There were moments when I thought, why is this happening to me? How is this fair? Whether it was financial struggles, personal heartbreaks, or health issues, I viewed these moments as obstacles in the way of my happiness. But Stoicism teaches that adversity is actually an opportunity. It's a chance to grow, to strengthen your character, and to become better than you were before. There's a quote by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus that really stuck with me. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. One time, I lost a major contract that I'd been counting on. It was devastating. But looking back now, I see that it pushed me to reevaluate my approach and develop new skills that later opened bigger doors for me. Adversity forces us to adapt and grow, even when we don't want to. The hard moments in life are often the ones that teach us the most. So instead of resisting challenges, embrace them. They are life's way of helping you evolve. I used to think that happiness was tied to success. If I could just achieve more, earn more, or gain more recognition, I would finally be happy. So I chased those things relentlessly. But each time I reached a new level of success, the satisfaction didn't last. I always wanted more. It wasn't until I started studying Stoicism that I learned the truth. Happiness comes from within. The Stoics teach that true happiness isn't found in external achievements or material wealth, but in living according to your values and finding peace within yourself. There was a point in my life when I had everything I thought I wanted: a great career, a nice home, and recognition from my peers. But I still felt empty inside. That's when I realized something had to change. I started focusing less on external achievements and more on cultivating inner peace, gratitude, and living a life aligned with my values. And I can tell you, the happiness I found there was far deeper and more lasting. This one's tough for a lot of people, but it's one of the most important lessons I've learned through Stoic philosophy. We often live as if we have all the time in the world, putting off things that matter most, whether it's telling someone we love them, pursuing our true passions, or making amends with someone we've hurt. But the Stoics remind us that life is short. They have a concept called memento mori, which means, remember, you will die. It's not meant to be morbid. In fact, it's meant to wake us up to the reality that life is finite, and we should make the most of every moment. There was a time when I avoided thinking about death. It scared me. But once I embraced this Stoic idea, I started living differently. I stopped procrastinating on important things. I started prioritizing my relationships, focusing on meaningful work, and appreciating the present moment. I also became more at peace with the idea of death, because I knew I was living fully. Finally, one of the most powerful lessons I've learned is the importance of living in the present moment. I used to spend so much time either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But what Stoicism teaches us is that the only moment we truly have is the one we're in right now. I remember being on vacation once at this beautiful beach, but instead of enjoying the moment, I was worrying about work emails and future plans. It hit me then that I was missing out on life. Since then, I've worked on being more present, whether it's enjoying time with loved ones or simply appreciating a quiet moment. The Stoics remind us that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the present is all we have. So why not make the most of it? These lessons from Stoic philosophy are simple yet profound. I wish I had learned them sooner, but now that I have, they've transformed how I live my life. If you can start applying these ideas now, I promise you'll look back and be grateful you didn't wait until it was too late. Life is short, but with wisdom, we can make it meaningful.